Yeah! Welcome back. This is We Start Gaming. I'm James Riding. And the giggly one is James Johnson.
Hey.
You didn't expect that, did you?
No, we were just talking all normal, and I was expecting just welcome back, and you were just screaming.
I took
out.
advantage when you hit that record button.
You were like, "Oh, suddenly I'm Bill Cosby."
Yeah. Ooh,
Yeah.
that's a bad thing now.
Yeah, it can be.
Yeah.
I saw today that he was actually getting arrested.
Again?
No, he didn't get arrested before. They just came out with a bunch of allegations against him, but now he's actually being arrested.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's super old, too.
Yeah, he's got to be in his 70s.
Man.
Yeah.
How is he going to fend in prison?
I don't know.
He'll just gobble his way out of it.
Yeah, but, okay, so let's imagine that you're in prison, and then, you're walking out in the yard or whatever, and then you see fucking Bill Cosby there. What? You're not gonna fuck with Bill Cosby, right?
No, of course not.
He'll be like, go, pudding pops.
Pudding pops.
And everybody will just be like, yeah, cool, Bill Cosby.
All right. It's nice to meet you.
Nice job assaulting all those women.
Yeah.
Thanks.
You know, you would have been great if you didn't rape them, but you're still Bill Cosby. You make a valid point. And plus, who wants to rape an old man?
I'd imagine that there's some dudes out there that just have
some weird fetishes.
Yeah, they're like, I've raped all the other dudes in this prison, so
I want something real loose.
I've got to go for this old guy.
Poor Bill Cosby.
Oh my god. What the hell are we talking about? Why are we doing this?
All right. Yeah, We Swear It's Gaming, and this is our last episode of the year.
What episode are we on?
This would be episode 9.
Episode 9?
Mm-hmm.
James on James.
James on James.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
9 episodes. We've skipped a couple weeks.
Yeah,
We've
holidays,
had some things going on.
Yeah. But we're back, and we're here for you now.
Yeah.
So just start rubbing.
Rubbing what?
I don't know. They can use imagination.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Just start rubbing away.
Yeah, so we did decide to dedicate this episode to Game of the Year.
Yeah.
So, where's that list? Oh, your phone turned off. Alright, we got the list. So yeah, James is currently occupied. So with Game of the Year, there's been a lot of good games this year. A lot of not so many good ones, but we're not going to focus on the bad ones like Witcher 3. We can get backlash for that.
Hold on, we're going to take a break real quick.
Hi!
Alright, we're back.
Yep.
Just had to
Minor inconveniences.
deal with some things.
Deal with your Rio.
Yeah.
Got some bad Rio.
Yeah, we went to Cafe Rio, which is a place out here in the West.
It's good. It's just like you're a Mexican restaurant.
Yeah, I really like it. It's kind of like Chipotle, but I would say there's a few more options than Chipotle, and there's more sauce. It's not so much like something that you could eat in your hand. It's something that you need a
those
plate bowl thing.
tin trays.
Yeah, the tin trays that you get at every Mexican restaurant.
Yeah.
But anyway, I went down there and got a burrito, and I started eating that burrito, and I was like, this meat is not right. It's it didn't have the flavor on it, and it just tasted really weird. I wasn't enjoying it at all. So I was ready to just be like, all right, well, that's a loss for me, and record this podcast. But my girlfriend, Piper, which you guys should be familiar with at this point, she was like, no, we're not having this. We're going to go and get a refund. And I was like, all right, well, you go get that refund. I'm going to start recording this episode. So
I was just jacking it in the corner while this all went down.
Yeah, So she went back into the other room to call them. And then after she had talked to them, she came out here to leave and go do that. And she was trying to give me hand signals and tell me what she was doing and ask me questions. And I was like, I have no idea what you're trying to say to me. Just.
Was she doing the whole army thing where it's they can't see what I'm doing?
She was doing just hand signals that made no sense to me at all. And I was like, why don't just go? What do you need from me? Yeah. So stop the podcast, talk to her a little bit. So
It's-
she's off to get a refund from Cafe Rio, and to get some other food. I don't know what she's gonna get.
Little Caesars.
Yeah, Little Caesars pizza. Good old cardboard with cheese on top.
Hey, it's great when you're drunk.
Yeah?
It's like one of the best drunk.
I have eaten a lot of Little Caesars.
Yeah, I have too.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good.
But anyway,
Staple out here.
normally I really love Rio, but today I was very, very disappointed with it.
They just fucked it.
Yeah.
They literally fucked your meat. They grabbed it and just
Yeah.
their dicks.
With their dicks. Yeah, so anyway, let's just...
I already
Let's
made
move past that.
a snide comment towards Witcher 3, but we'll get back to that.
Yeah.
So we...
You, on the recording you made a snipe?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, man. What did you say?
I was like, oh, we're going to talk about the top game of the year, not Witcher 3 or something like that.
We will
Something.
talk about The Witcher 3, but as most of you probably know, it's not going to be our top pick.
No, we just... Okay, we'll talk about it when we get to it. All right, so
Okay.
we did compile a list here
Yeah, we made a short list. This isn't... It's not by any means, like...
in order.
Or, like, the best games, or... I don't know. We were really just like, hey, what did we play this year that we enjoyed?
Yeah,
So,
we just got a list of everything the best games that we had the most fun with.
yeah. And so there are definitely huge things missing from this list. Like,
Mhm.
Halo 5, obviously, is not on here because neither of us have an
We
Xbox.
didn't play it. Yeah, we didn't.
Yeah. So, I'm sure there's other games like that I can't even think of that you guys are probably like, hey, why the fuck isn't this game on here?
Yeah.
It's because we
and-
didn't fucking play it, okay?
Yeah. So, let us know in the comments.
If we had any comments.
Yeah, if we ever had comments.
Yeah.
It's
All
still
right.
fun to say.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess we'll just go down the list here that we have that we wrote out on my phone. So the first one, oh no, we did write this list in order that they came out because remember we looked at that list of all the games that came out
yeah.
and we picked out the ones that we had played. And
Except
had fun
for
with.
our final
Yeah,
list.
yeah,
So
like
we have
the-
two lists actually, but yeah.
Yeah, because like there's all of the games that we had, and then there were some like the short list that we knew were going to be a part of the discussion, so we didn't look them up off that list. The first ones that we're going to read are just ones that we didn't think of right off the bat, but that we definitely wanted to talk about.
But yeah, these games came out in order, like, from earliest of the year to the latest of the year.
Yeah. Okay, so the first one that caught my eye was Dying Light.
Yeah.
Dying Light is awesome. I really like that game.
I haven't played it. I've watched you play it a bunch.
Yeah.
Jeremy, I watched him play it a little bit.
Yeah.
It looks great. I think I would actually like it. I'm not
Yeah.
a fan of first persons,
Mhm.
but that's like a parkour zombie first
Right,
person.
yeah,
It looks awesome.
It's not your standard first-person game at all. Like,
yeah.
I really enjoyed the parkour mechanics. I've never played a game with parkour mechanics that were so easy to use and intuitive. Like, you play Assassin's Creed and that guy goes all over the place. He goes everywhere. But I'd say like 60% of the time it's not where you want to go, right?
Right.
It just is super hard to control.
Yeah, he just kind of like leaps to whatever. is
Yeah,
next to him.
like-
no, I want to go up.
You're just like, oh, I want to go inside this window. He's like, did you mean jump off the roof of this building? So, yeah, the parkour in Dying Light was great. Like, it controls very well. Like, what you want to do comes through very well because of how they have the climbing system. It's not like one static button where you just hold that and you parkour. You have to, like, push the button to climb up and things like that.
Yeah, it's more intuitive.
Yeah. So I really like that. At first, it's really weird when you start playing it because your jump is R1. And, like, how many games is your jump R1?
Yeah,
Right?
I can't think of any off the top of my head.
But after you play it for, like, 30 minutes, you're like, this is the only way that this game could work, is if you can constantly push the jump with your index finger because you have to be moving both thumbsticks constantly. So
Oh yeah,
if you were to take your thumb off of the thumbstick, then it would just
It'd
make
fuck
it
up,
really hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's good game mechanic designing right there,
Yeah,
though, because they knew that, and so
Yeah, but when I first played it, I was like, why the fuck is R1 jump? Like, this is the worst thing I've ever seen. I really want to change it, but I can't figure out how. But then I played it for just a little bit, and I was like, okay, this makes sense. I understand.
yeah,
And it worked perfectly. That it was I can't think of many zombie games I've actually played. Like when you think about zombies, it seems like they're really played out. Like a lot of things have done them.
Oh yeah, I mean you got Riptide, you got your Call of Duty zombies, you got your definitely Resident Evils.
Yeah, but as far as games that I've played, zombie games that I've played, this is totally different from all of them.
Yeah, a lot of them are just first person, just run and gun.
Yeah, it's basically what they are first person shooters that instead of shooting other people or shooting Nazis, you're shooting zombies.
Yeah.
Right? So this is not that at all. Well, I guess eventually you do get guns. But...
Yeah, but I mean, like, the point is, like, that's not what they focus on, though.
Yeah, it's mostly melee combat.
Yeah.
And that was a lot of fun because you just find, like, boards or, like, a tire iron or some random stuff around.
Just beat the shit out of zombies.
Yeah. And eventually your stuff does break, which I really liked, you know. It made it very realistic. But you can also just pick up random stuff and customize your weapons. So like you can put like electricity in your weapons. You can.
So is it kind of like Dead Rising then with customization?
Kind of.
Okay.
Yeah.
But probably not as ridiculous.
No,
Okay.
definitely not.
Yeah.
They do let you do some kind of ridiculous stuff. Like, it's been a while since I've played it, so I can't think of anything specifically. But it does get into the realm of ridiculous later on in the game. But up front, they do a very good job of making it seem very realistic.
Yeah.
But like you can put saws on the end of your bat and things like that, like just different customizations to make your weapons stronger and to also make them do more damage. And you go through a ton of weapons, like you're constantly getting new weapons and breaking your old weapons. It made it so that I actually wanted to explore the weapon mechanics and all the different things I could do, instead of just picking one I really liked and sticking with it the whole game, which is what I tend to do.
Yeah, well,
Right.
I mean, I do the same thing. You know, why we're doing a good thing, you know?
Yeah. Like, I've been using the same guns in Fallout 4 for half the fucking game. And, like, I probably should change them, but there's no real incentive for me to change them other than, like, oh, I'm running out of ammo in this gun, or I want to try something different, right? But I do really like when games kind of push you into experiencing more of their content without it being frustrating or making you lose something that you really like for arbitrary reasons, you know.
Yeah.
It seemed very natural. It all made sense, you know. Like I had this really good weapon, but eventually it's gonna break because you know
Are
you're
you
bashing
able
enough
to
skulls.
repair weapons?
I can't honestly remember. This game came out in like January or February, so it's been a while since I played
I remember
it.
it was really early on when it came out.
Yeah, I don't recall if you can repair your weapons or not.
Has the DLC come out for this game?
No, it's coming out soon though, and I'm very excited for it. I'll definitely go back for that.
So we'll definitely have an episode about that later on.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I just really enjoyed that game. The story wasn't particularly great, but that's not really what I was playing it for. I didn't care about the story. I just wanted to explore the city that they had and go to all the different places and find zombies. Like they had a couple of really cool missions where you had to like navigate your way through these old abandoned buildings and find like a certain item, like a supply drop or something like that. But there are zombies all around, so you have to figure out how to get inside of the building and either sneak past or kill all the zombies to get what you need and like get out.
Yeah, and one thing I did notice about watching you and Jeremy play this game is like the zombies, like when you first see them, they kind of look dumb. They're wandering around, but when they notice you, some of them I notice are like slow, but some of them can keep up with your parkour.
Right,
They'll fucking track your ass down.
Another really big thing about this game is the day and night cycle, right? Because during the day, the zombies kind of lumber around. They're not super difficult. It's kind of like your normal zombie, like Dead Island type of thing.
Yeah, Dead Rising did the same thing.
Yeah, but at night, there are these other zombies that come out, and they're basically like the hunters from Resident Evil. I would say that's like a pretty good comparison for them.
I hated those guys.
But yeah, they run very quickly, and they can keep up with your parkour for sure.
Yeah.
So sometimes you'll be just out doing whatever, and then the sun's going down, and you're like, oh shit, I have to get to a safe area before it gets dark. But sometimes you don't make it, so you have to just like sneak around, and if they see you, you'll get into this crazy chase, and you've got to just run from them. It's very, very hard to kill them. So that made for some really intense moments, just running from these guys. Cause
yeah, well, I've seen you guys like jump out of your seat almost like playing the game, and in a game like when it's that much tension can get you that like enthralled in the action. That's just good. That's a good game.
Right. Yeah, so I really enjoyed Dying Light. That's for sure in my top 5, probably even my top 3 of the year. Like it was very surprising, but it was a great game. I really, really enjoyed it. I can't recommend it enough.
I'm gonna have to try it. I think I'm gonna wait till the DLC comes out,
Yeah.
and then that's when I'll like go through. I mean, I should try it before the DLC,
Yeah.
but I'm hoping that they have some kind of deal,
Yeah.
where you can get the game and the DLC for discount, like
Right.
for a discount price, and then I'll definitely pick it up.
Right, I'm sure they will. I think they might have actually already announced that.
Really? Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go check that out.
But another thing I forgot to mention about this game is later on you get a grappling hook type thing. So you can while you're running around, you can just shoot your grappling hook and get like pulled up to that point, right?
Oh wow!
So
like Batman.
Yeah, it's a lot like Batman.
Cool.
But it was so cool with the parkour mechanics because like in Batman you can just fly around, like getting around's not hard.
Yeah.
But in this it made it feel like you played so much of the game just running around and jumping on buildings that when you do get your grappling hook, it's a really big deal and it makes things much easier. And I had a lot of fun just traveling around the city with that grappling hook. Like, I don't think I've had as much fun just traveling around the city since like Spider-Man 2 on the PlayStation 2. Like, do you remember that game?
That was a really fun
Yeah.
game. Yeah.
That's like the best.
Spider-Man game.
Yeah, just swinging around the city
Yeah.
was so much fun. But I think that's the most fun I've had with just like an open world city since that game, honestly.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's saying something because it's hard to make a game where that is like one of the best things about it. Like, yeah, you can do it in Assassin's Creed, but at times it almost feels more tedious than you're like.
Definitely, especially after 10 games.
Oh yeah.
Right, it's just the same thing.
Too much.
But yeah, I really loved the traversal in that game. That game was a lot of fun. I am excited for the DLC to come out. And I totally forgot, but it's multiplayer. You can play this game multiplayer.
Co-op or like versus?
Co-op.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, you can have 4-player co-op.
Wow. Well,
Yeah.
I think we should definitely get me, you, and Jeremy on this.
Yeah, that would be a lot of fun.
Nice.
Yeah, so that one was a really good game. Liked it a lot. So moving on to the next one, this is going to be really dominated by you because
because you never played it, huh?
Haven't played this game.
This one came out. I think it came out in March or something.
I have no idea.
I know it was early on. I want to say it was March, but Monster Hunter 4.
Yeah.
For the 3DS, and I'm a big.
Is it only on the 3DS? I thought it was
Yes.
Wii U as well. No,
This was a
just
3DS exclusive title.
And how long had it been out in Japan before it came here?
Like a year.
Really?
Yeah, which
Wow.
made me really mad. And like with all Monster Hunter games, they come out in Japan, and you know that it's going to be released worldwide later on, but they wait a whole year. That's how it kind of was with Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate.
Mm-hmm.
And so a little bit backstory. I played the demo of Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate. Wasn't a big fan of it that much. Like, I was like, yeah, it's kind of fun, I guess. And I put some money onto my account to go buy Donkey Kong Country for the 3DS. I didn't have enough room on my card, but I had barely enough room for Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up just buying that because I already had the money on there.
So the DS store tells you, like, how?
No, it doesn't tell you how much. So
So you were just worried about it and you checked out how much you had available.
No, I went to go purchase it. It said unable. There's not enough space. And,
okay.
and I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And so then I, looked it up online, found out, and then I was like, crap. And then, Monster Hunter 3 was right there.
Mm-hmm.
I think I might have had like a deal going on that was a selling point for me. And then I was like, okay. So I barely had enough for my card. And I played the shit out of that.
Yeah.
Like well over 500 hours. And
I remember you playing it like all the time.
Yeah, I was constant.
That was the one that you could play on your Wii U as well, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we had me and Kyle, we would always play it 3DS, Wii U.
Yeah.
And we killed a lot of monsters. And then
you hunted those monsters.
Yeah, we hunted them so good. And then I was super excited when they announced 4 coming over to Americas, and it came over here. I want to say March. I could be wrong. Got it. I played the shit out of it. I think I actually overplayed it a little bit because it got to a point where like I turned it on. I was like, man, I kind of want to do something else. And I hate when I do that to games because then I usually don't return to them for a long time. Like this one, I haven't returned to it for a few months. But I loved it. Like the mechanics are great. They added a bunch of new. They added 2 new weapons. They added a jumping mechanic.
Yeah.
Which it's not like you can just jump, but you can jump off like cliffs and you can like latch onto monsters. They brought a bunch of new monsters. And one of the biggest things that they added to this, so on the Wii U for Monster Hunter Ultimate 3, you could play online.
Yeah.
You just go and join rooms. On the 3DS, you couldn't. It had to be local.
Okay.
So with Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, they added that feature to play online.
Right.
For the 3DS. So that was like groundbreaking. It made it so much fun. And it's so easy to find rooms.
Yeah.
And you can create a room, people jump in it. And you're
like, is it like an international thing? So you're playing with Japanese players?
You can play with people all around the world. They made like quick speech things to say, you know. Yeah. So it's like good job or come here.
Cool. So that breaks down the language barrier too.
Yeah,
that's a good idea.
Because you know on their screen it looks the language like that, and they just hit that button, and it's like come here, and you're like okay. Other than them typing something out, because I'm not going to be able to understand that.
Right. Yeah.
So that was, and I think that's really cool when games kind of do something like that when they do international games, because it's like, how are they going to communicate, especially when you're fighting a monster that takes well over can take anywhere from 10 minutes to 40 minutes to kill.
Right.
And so, teamwork is very essential, and it's just a blast. Like the new zones room, it looks great on the 3DS. I mean, 3DS graphics aren't anywhere comparable to Xbox One or PS4, but for a handheld, damn, they're good. I like them. And so they added that. They had a really cool mechanic with your minions, where you got these cats, and you can give them armor.
You got cats like house cats, like kittens?
Yeah, you got
really?
Yeah.
I was expecting you to correct me and be like, oh no, they're like tigers or something, but
no, they are house cats that run on 2 legs.
They run on 2 legs?
Yeah, and they have weapons. At first I was like, because in Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate you had these tiki guys, and I was like, all right. And then I saw the cats, I was like, what the fuck? Calicos? Or I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But I ended up loving those little bastards. They're adorable. You can dress them up in armor, and some of their armor look really badass. And you can give them certain skills. You can train other ones to do different abilities.
Right.
And you can have a training place for all of these cats. So, great game. I played it a lot. I need to return back to it.
Yeah.
Because it's one of the only games I play on my 3DS
right.
constantly. So my 3DS got some dust because I haven't played in 3 months.
Yeah.
But
well, yeah, you've got a PS4 now, right?
Yeah, as soon as I got that PS4, man, it was everything pushing the Wii U off the shelf. And
yeah, when I had a PS4 and you kept trying to get me to play 3DS games with you and stuff like that, and I was always like, nah.
Yeah, I got a PS4.
I'm a little bit too cool for that now.
I'm better than you. But yeah, thank you, Monster Hunter. It was a great game.
Do you think that it was a step up from 3, or do you still prefer 3?
No, definitely.
Yeah.
There are certain things I like about 3 just because I've memorized the maps and know monsters. They took out some armor equipments that I really enjoyed that were in 3.
Yeah.
But they added a bunch of new ones. So I would say it is better than 3. I just wish it also came on the Wii U.
Right.
That was my one gripe.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's not a deal breaker or anything. It's man, because I love playing on the Wii U because I don't know, I just like playing on the Wii U.
Right.
So that was one thing I was just kind of man, I wish I was playing this on my TV, but oh well.
Yeah.
Still a great game.
Cool. All right. Well, you got anything else for Monster Hunter? Are you ready to move on?
I think I'm ready to move on.
All right. Cool. So the next one we're showing here on the list is Majora's Mask 3D.
Yeah, and this is a remake. Which
it's kind of debatable whether or not we should even talk about it on here.
No, I don't really think we should. It's cool. I'm glad they came out with this year.
Yeah.
It's been in the talks for a long time, ever since they made Ocarina of Time for 3DS. So everyone's been like, when's Majora Mask coming out? And they
Yeah.
finally bend over and they're like, okay.
I feel like Majora's Mask had like,
I feel like it was the hardest one.
for sure, yeah. But I feel like when it came out, it didn't really have as much love or fan enthusiasm. But over the years, that really grew.
Oh yeah.
And I don't think that grew because people played the game and realized they were wrong about it. I think it was more of like a trendy sort of thing. Like, it was cool to like Majora's Mask, right? It was cool for Majora's Mask to be your favorite Zelda game because like that's the different thing to do,
Yeah.
you know? Like, everybody's standard answer is Ocarina of Time, but it's like, I want to be original.
Yeah.
Even though there's only like 10 Zelda games, I'm gonna...
Trending gamers.
Yeah. So I
What-
feel like there was a big, like, changeover for Majora's Mask, a big change in perception over time. So now that this game has come out, I really feel like it's put in perspective for people. And I think people have realized that it's not as amazing as everyone made it out to be. Like,
No, like it's fun.
it's a great game.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
really
It's,
like it.
it's definitely hard. It
It's-
made me
it's-
so angry as a kid.
I think it's definitely the hardest Zelda in a long time.
Yeah, well,
Like,
other than catching that shit at the beginning of Twilight Princess, definitely the hardest.
Yeah. But no, I did enjoy. I liked Majora's Mask when I was young and played it. Like, I don't even know how I got through it or did any of that, but I remember beating that game. But playing it now, I played it for a little while I was on tour. I beat the first dungeon. Like, it was cool to come back. Like, it looked really good.
Yeah.
I like the things that they did, but I was struck with how small it was.
Really?
Yeah, like, I was surprised because thinking back, I remember things being so expansive and sprawling and like getting lost and not being able to tell where things were.
Yeah, I mean that might have just been perspective from being kids to now, though.
And also like the different number of games we played. Like, back then when we played a game like that, we were like, wow, it's so big. But now that we're playing that old game, it's kind of just like, wow, this is really it. Like, it's like when you go to a house or somewhere that you went to a lot when you were little, but you haven't been back to in years, and you're like, this is it.
That's true.
Like, this
I
seems so
remember-
small.
Yeah, I did that back when I visited Arizona a while ago. I drove past, not a while ago, it's been like a year.
Yeah, it was when we were
Drove
on
past
tour.
the house I grew up in. I was like, holy shit.
It's small, right?
weird.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
did the same thing when we went to Colorado.
Yeah, it's so crazy.
But yeah, I totally had that for that game. And I don't remember why I stopped playing it on tour. Like, I didn't have a ton of time to play games, and
Yeah.
you kind of got to be invested in Majora's Mask.
Oh, yeah. Because
So.
if you drop it and come back to it, you're like, what the hell am I doing?
Right, for sure.
But we're going to take a quick break. I have to pee-pee. Pee-pee,
All right.
pee-pee, pee-pee.
BB. Okay, we're back.
And just like our last title, I don't think we should talk about this one a whole lot, because it is another remastered game.
Yeah.
But it's one of my favorites.
And it's one that I've spent a ton of time with this year. I've spent a lot of time with this game. And if you've listened to any of our episodes, you probably have guessed what it is. But it's Dark Souls 2, The Scholar of the First Sin,
they're
on
probably like,
PlayStation
oh
4.
shit, I thought they were going to say Bloodborne. No,
Bloodborne's not a remaster.
Yeah, I know, but
Oh yeah, we do talk about Bloodborne.
all the time. Dark Souls 2.
Dark Souls 2. Dark Souls 2 is awesome. I've played it twice this year. I played it once alone, and then I played it again with you.
We still need to beat it.
We do need to beat it. We need to go into the DLC too.
Oh, yeah. I think we're actually really close to DLC.
I think we can go to the DLC right now if we wanted to.
We should.
Yeah.
Like right now, we're stopping
now.
the podcast.
Yeah, we're
We're
quitting.
playing Dark Souls 2.
We're gonna check out that DLC.
No, it's a great game. I have a really weird relationship with Dark Souls because when I saw the game, I initially was like, this game looks terrible, I don't want to play it. And then my roommate played it all the time. And, when you're bored getting drunk with, we just get drunk, I'd sit there and watch him. Eventually, I was like, I'll give it a try. And mainly because he was kind of terrible at it at the beginning. And I'm one of those gamers that, like, if you're watching someone who's terrible at a game, you just want to be like, God, give me the controller.
It's painful.
Yeah.
It for sure is painful.
So I started playing it just because of that reason, and I fucking fell in love with it.
Was that Dark Souls 1?
No,
Dark Souls 2.
I won't talk about Dark Souls 1 because that's a bitter hated memory. But I love Dark Souls 2.
Yeah. So I also have a really weird perspective on the Souls games because somehow I missed them when they were new. I totally missed them. Didn't pay attention to them at all. But then Bloodborne came out. I had a PS4 at the time, and I was just hungry for whatever was coming out on PS4. So I heard a lot about Bloodborne, and I was like, all right, I'll give it a shot. So I jumped into Bloodborne. Loved Bloodborne. We'll talk about Bloodborne later, but I loved Bloodborne. So then I was like, man, that game was awesome. I should check out these Souls games.
Yeah, it's like a gateway drug.
Yeah. So I went and downloaded Dark Souls 2 on my PlayStation 4 and played through that and loved that game. So I'm kind of going in reverse of how these games were released. So I feel like I should pick up Dark Souls 1. A lot of people tell me that Dark Souls 1 is the best of all of them.
See, yeah, well, the thing with Dark Souls 1, it was made by the director, I forget his name, who made Demon Souls.
I think his name is Miyazaki. Or is that somebody at Nintendo?
That sounds like it's Nintendo.
I don't know. We're racist and all Japanese people are the same.
We're not racist. we have a hard time remembering names.
Yeah. It's easier for us to remember Dan Robinson than it is something Miyazaki, Hideo. All right, I'll stop now. This is not working for me.
Yeah, but the guy who directed or made the Demon Souls, Dark Souls 1, he didn't do Dark Souls 2. That was done by someone else, and then he came back to make Bloodborne.
Yeah, and he's also making Dark Souls 3.
Yeah, which is coming out this April.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I could see, and there's a difference between the two games. We won't get too far into that. We'll save that for when we do our Dark Souls 3 podcast. But yeah, some people prefer the first one. I personally prefer the second one.
Yeah. Have you had much time with the first one?
Yes.
To make that judgment?
I've made it through more than halfway of the game.
Okay.
Until I got to a part where I literally almost broke a controller, and I was just like, I'm done. I'm going back to Dark Souls 2. But yeah, I did follow the kind of same order you did.
Does Jeremy have Dark Souls, the original one?
Yeah.
He has it on disc?
No.
He has it downloaded to his Xbox?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, it's not quite so easy, then, is it?
I mean...
Maybe I could go to GameStop and just get it for like a couple dollars or something.
Do you still have your Xbox?
Yeah, I have my
right
Xbox.
There. It's staring me right in the dick.
It's even all plugged in and set up.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
It'd probably be pretty cheap.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dark Souls 2. Great game, great remaster. If you haven't played it, really give it a chance. It's hard, but it's not impossible.
Yeah, for sure.
It's actually rewarding.
Yeah.
When you get past the part that you've just been ripping your hair out.
Yeah. Okay, so next one, moving on. Mortal Kombat X. Now,
Mortal Kombat!
We played a lot of Mortal Kombat 9 when we lived together. We got that on the PlayStation 3. We had 4 controllers. We played that game constantly.
There was a lot of rage.
Yeah, because there was what, 5 of us living in that house?
Yeah, and we were all really good.
Yeah, so we would just play Mortal Kombat constantly.
Yeah.
And that game was so much fun because it was like the old Mortal Kombats that we used to play.
Oh, yeah.
But they let you do tag team. They let you do...
X-Ray was really cool mechanic they had.
Yeah, the like special...
Enhanced,
yeah. We had a lot of fun with that game. We played it a ton. So when Mortal Kombat X was coming out, I was pretty excited for it. I obviously knew that I wouldn't play it as much since I don't live with roommates anymore. Like, I just live with my girlfriend who wouldn't want to play Mortal Kombat with me at all. So I knew I wasn't going to play it as much. So I was kind of just taking a wait-and-see approach with it because I knew that you were going to buy it.
I still haven't.
Well...
I will.
How did we play it, then?
Deadly.
Oh, right. That dude.
Savior,
yeah. Yeah, he bought it and was over at your house all the time.
Yep.
Okay. So the only time I ever played it was when I went over to your house those couple times. And, like, I don't have a whole lot of experience. I don't feel like I can really grade the game overall. But from what I played, I enjoyed 9 a lot better. Like, 10 times better than this game.
I could see that, because this game, they really did a lot of things different. They didn't keep to, like, the classic Mortal Kombat. They went more of kind of the Injustice route.
That's exactly what I was going to say. It felt like they brought a lot from Injustice, and I didn't like Injustice half as much as Mortal Kombat 9.
I thought it was kind of fun and cool that you little variants, but I think it was unnecessary.
Right. Yeah.
I would rather have more characters
Uh-huh.
and no variants. Because
Right.
they took out Sector, they took out Cyrax,
Yeah.
and I love those guys.
Right. Yeah.
Smoke's not even in it.
Yeah. Those are all the characters that we
Noob
used to play.
Cybot, yeah, these are
They
like
took out Noob too.
yeah, Noob.
That's like all the characters that we used to play.
yeah, and other than Scorpion, Sub-Zero, obviously they're gonna.
But
be
like
in
none of
there.
those guys were our main characters.
No.
Like our main characters were like Smoke, Noob Saibot, and the robots.
Yeah,
Like that's who we played all the time.
I'm trying to think if there's anyone else, and I really can't. Reptile. But
Ermac. I
oh,
played
yeah,
Ermac
Ermac.
all the time.
Ermac and Reptile are definitely in this game.
Yeah.
Thank God. If they would have took those guys out, I don't even know if I would have played it.
Yeah.
Um,
But I think they did fall victim to wanting to do something new, right?
mhm.
And that newness maybe made it a novelty for the first little while, but I don't think it had the depth that Mortal Kombat 9 did.
Oh,
it didn't have the
no.
replayability for me, anyway.
Yeah, no, 9 was. I would say I do enjoy 9 more.
Yeah, like if somebody was like, "Hey, let's go play Mortal Kombat," I would be like, "All right, as long as we're playing Mortal Kombat 9, I'm down." But if we're playing
Well, I think
10,
You should give X a little bit,
Yeah.
play it a little bit more, get more used to, because I was playing it. I really like the new character Devora,
yeah,
and it's really weird because she doesn't have a whole lot of special skills,
yeah,
but I kind of like that
hmm
because it's really easy for me to memorize what she has and like try out the variants. And I found one I really like, and you can like basically poison foes, and I was like, this is sweet.
yeah,
So I think you just have to find the right variant. They do have some really cool, DLC characters like Predator,
Oh, right, yeah,
Jason. I heard Aliens coming,
right, yeah. They're putting Alien in the
so
game.
you can totally do an Alien
That is
versus
pretty cool.
Predator.
But I feel like fighting games have this weird thing where, like, most games, when there's a sequel or, like, the next game in the series, it iterates on everything the old game had done and kind of makes the old game obsolete. Like, the new game is usually better
Mhm.
at most of the things, and it's kind of hard to go back. But fighting games don't really do that nearly as much.
No,
Like,
I mean it's all personal preference with fighting
Yeah.
games.
like with Smash Brothers, up until this new Smash came out, if somebody was like, "Hey, you want to play Smash Brothers?" I would be like, "If we're playing Melee or Brawl, no thanks. But if we're playing original Smash, then hell yeah, I am down for that."
The original's still the best.
It is still the best. I
Um,
deluded myself into thinking the new one was better for a while, but it's not.
No,
it's just not.
I mean, not to say it's terrible. I love
No,
that
it's
game,
great.
Yeah.
It's great. That is for sure the best one since
The
the
original.
original. And I did think it was better for a while, but after playing it enough and then going back to the original, I changed my mind.
Yeah, the original it got so much going for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, with Mortal Kombat, one thing that you didn't try that did one whole day. I just got me an 18-pack, sat down, played through it. Was the story mode.
Right, yeah, the story mode in 9 was great.
The story mode in X is amazing.
Really?
And they did a lot of different things. Whereas like God of War has action commands.
Right, yeah.
I forget the
Quick time events?
quick time events. Mortal Kombat X does that,
Really?
and like the story, it's a really weird world for Mortal Kombat. If you've ever kept up with the story, it's just bizarre, but they did a really good job. I was entertained all the way through.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun playing through it, and
That's cool because they could totally make the story just a way to get between different fights, right?
right.
Which to some extent it probably is, but like
It is. I mean, but it makes sense why they have to do some, certain things like
Yeah.
that. I want to say his name's Chinook or
Shao Kahn?
No, Shao Kahn's
No,
not.
Shao Kahn's in the Jungle Book.
No, Shao Kahn's in Mortal Kombat. He's the one that's like throws the hammer.
Is he also in the Jungle Book though?
No,
Not the same character, but like that name.
I don't think it is.
Who's the tiger in the Jungle Book then?
Uh,
I'm pretty sure it's Shao Kahn.
it's not Mowgli. It's not Shao Kahn. There's no way it's Shao Kahn.
All right, we're gonna consult the Oracle. Keep talking about Mortal Kombat.
Okay, but the story was amazing. Like, I wouldn't say it's like the best story of game I've ever played, but very, very enjoyable. There was nothing I really like. It's cheesy. It's Mortal Kombat. But you got to go in there knowing that it is. It's a panther. It's not a tiger.
There's a panther and a tiger, James.
Oh,
All right.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Those are pictures.
Okay, Shere Khan.
Ah,
Not Shao
they're
Kahn,
brothers.
Shere Khan. Yeah, yeah.
All right, but yeah, I think that's all I really have to say. I'm excited to see this new DLC. I'm gonna get the game eventually, but it was a good game that came out this year.
Yeah, maybe I'll come back to it, but I would honestly just rather play 9. Like, I'm familiar with it. I don't want to invest a bunch of time to figure out 10.
Yeah.
But anyway, next one.
This was a surprise this year.
Yeah, but everyone fell in love with this
Yeah,
game.
I was surprised.
It's Rocket League, and it's such a simple game. Like, there's not much to it,
Yeah,
but it's amazingly fun. It's so much fun, and it's very addictive as well.
it's one of those games where they just got all the right mechanics and they just made it simple.
Yeah, well, what they really did is they were just like, how can we make a sport into a video game, and add just a little bit of a twist to keep everybody playing, right? So
Right.
it's basically just soccer with remote control cars.
Yeah,
And like it's just so much fun. Like it's hard to control, and that's what makes it fun, because like if it was super precise, then there would be people who well, there are people who are just really good and kind of make you look like you suck.
rubbish.
But it really helps to even the playing field when you're playing in a car and you can't like make very quick 90-degree turns.
Yeah.
Um,
And then when you do something cool, that's like almost might be accidental. You're just like,
yeah.
fucking awesome.
Yeah, but like, there's not much depth to the game at all. Like, it's always just a 5-minute game of soccer. Like, you can change how your car looks and things like that, but there's nothing that fundamentally changes the gameplay. Like, there's a couple of different stadiums you can play in, and like one of them, the sides are like sloped up, so it's not just flat. But other than that, there's not almost any diversity to it. But they found a very simple winning formula, and everybody fell in love with that game.
Yeah. Keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah,
That's my animation teacher used to tell me.
yeah.
It works.
Yeah, really like that game. I've played it a lot. I'll definitely come back to it every once in a while when I'm like, man, what do I want to play?
Yeah, I saw you on Rocket League the other day.
Yeah, I'll just jump in and play a couple games of Rocket League. It's kind of fun.
There's not really much to say about that game other than it's awesome.
Yeah, it's a very simple game, so we can't
Simple
really
and
go
fun.
into all the mechanics of it.
Yeah, you drive a car, you jump, you
Yeah.
flip, you do certain things.
Yeah, it's fun.
So the next one we got here then is Binding of Isaac Rebirth. So
Another one that's just like a re-release.
yeah, but the thing is like it's really good. Like it's basically just a remastered version of Binding of Isaac. They updated the graphics, which I really like. They kind of went more pixelated. They added a bunch of items. It's a really fun game. It reminds me of like the very first Zelda game, where it's over top view, you walking
Right.
through. And you just everyone should be familiar with Binding of Isaac. You're a kid stuck in his mom's basement, crying on hellish creatures.
Yeah.
But it was just a lot of fun to me. They also had another DLC come out for it called Greed, which I haven't gotten yet. So I don't.
Called Greed?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh no, it's not called Greed. It's
Because I thought this one was Rebirth, and then the next one is Afterbirth, isn't it?
Afterbirth. That's it. Yeah, that's right. I haven't played it. Yeah, I should have played it before doing this, so I would have had more to say.
Yeah.
But it's just a lot of fun. Just it's really hard. It's one permadeath games, and I really like permadeath games.
Right. I think it's a roguelike.
It is roguelike, but
is
it's
what it
definitely
should be called.
permadeath.
Yeah, well, permadeath, I guess, implies more to me that, like, I don't know. I guess we don't really need to discuss the differences
Yeah,
between permadeath and
We'll
roguelike.
do
but...
this off camera, and we'll get the fisticuffs up.
But yeah, this is a game where, like, you always come to me with these indie games, and you're like, dude, you gotta play this game. And normally I'm like, don't really want to.
Yeah.
But you convinced me to play this one.
And you enjoyed it, right?
Yeah, I really did like this
Yeah.
game. Like, at first I was like, nah, I'm not really that into it, but after a while of playing it, I think it was, I unlocked Azazel, or you unlocked Azazel for me, and once I started playing as him, I was like, this game is awesome.
Yeah.
And I just played it a lot. I played it quite a bit there for a little while.
Zazel's cool.
Yeah. So
It's just-
everything's just randomly generated. It's basically
Yeah.
just a dungeon crawler from Zelda 1.
It's a lot of fun. I mean,
Yeah.
like, you can just sit there, and you're gonna die in the game.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a chance you can beat it, but
Like, I do really enjoy the big AAA games where it, like, really gives you an amazing world and, like, a story to follow. But that only lasts for so long, right?
Yeah,
But
and then once you're done, it's like when you go back to replay it,
it's
you already
not the
know
same.
what's gonna happen.
Right.
Whereas these games, they just cut that out.
Yeah, these
There's,
little
like-
games like this, you can play forever. Like, you
Yeah.
can always come back to that game. Like, there are huge AAA games on my PlayStation that I've deleted and I don't ever plan to download again, right?
Mhm.
But, like, these smaller games, like The Binding of Isaac and Minecraft and things like that, I'm going to keep on my PlayStation forever. Like, they take up maybe a couple of gigs, and they're infinitely replayable.
Oh yeah,
Like, it's
and that's
just
what,
great.
That's what I love when a game goes in trying to become replayable, like Binding of Isaac.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to try Afterbirth. I totally forgot about that. I need to go home and download it tonight.
Yeah.
Give it a go.
Okay, so next up, Until Dawn.
See this? I've never played this game. I didn't even know this game existed until you had told me you've been playing it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna let you
So-
take the reins on this one.
Okay.
Buckaroo.
So Until Dawn is a game I played with Piper. It's basically an 80s horror movie. Like, it's about all these kids who go up into a cabin in the woods, and they're
Cliche
just...
as hell.
Yeah, it's super cliche. Everything about it is cliche. But you go up into this cabin in the woods, and then, like, there's a couple spooky things that happen, and then eventually people start dying, and you play as every one of those kids.
How many
right?
are there?
There's like 8 of them or
Oh,
something.
okay. So a good amount.
You play as all the kids, and it's a lot like Heavy Rain, like a Quantic Dream game.
Yeah.
So, like, you just have... There are different parts. So, at the beginning, everybody's getting there, and you play as one character that walks up to the entrance, and then another character shows up, and you guys kind of have an interaction, and you can make all these decisions that will affect the game later. Like, you can look into his bag, like, because you find a backpack, and a cell phone is ringing inside it. So you can choose to open up the backpack and take out the cell phone and see who's calling, or you can just leave it alone.
Ignore
right?
it, yeah.
So then when the guy shows up and it's his backpack, he can either be like, oh, hey, how's it going? Like, my cell phone's just in there. Or he can catch you, like, snooping through his cell phone, right?
Oh.
So those two characters show up, and then it cuts to a different location, and you're playing a different character, and he meets up with some other characters. So it kind of just jumps between all these guys and what you're doing in the game. But depending on how you play the game, all of those kids can live, or every one of them can die. And
So-
any variation in between them.
Have you beaten the game with them all living, all dying?
Almost. Very, very close.
Do you still have the game?
No, I rented it. I
Okay.
rented it from Redbox. But the first time we played through and just played to see how it would go, right? We
Yeah.
made all our own decisions. We didn't look anything up. And it was a lot of fun. Like, it was... The only other game I could compare it to is Heavy Rain, really.
Yeah, well, it looks just like Heavy Rain.
It is a lot like Heavy Rain, but the main point of the game is that it's a horror movie, right? So there's a lot of those horror movie tropes, but there are also a lot of places where the decisions you make really affect the outcome of the game and who lives and who dies.
Yeah. And it's crazy about this game is I just don't feel like it got the right advertising because
Right.
I didn't know about it, and
Right.
I'm always, I like to consider myself always up on what's coming out.
Right.
I check out a bunch of game sites, and maybe I had seen it and I just neglected it,
Yeah.
ignored it. I was just
Right.
like, whatever that is.
It's not something you want.
Yeah,
But-
but after hearing, after you told me what it actually was, I was like, damn, like if it's like Heavy Rain, I
No.
loved Heavy Rain.
Yeah.
It was
Heavy Rain was great.
it was a thrill seeker for sure.
I'm not sure I'll go back to Until Dawn anytime soon. I think in maybe like a year or something, it would be fun to replay it, maybe around Halloween.
Yeah, that's the thing with like Heavy Rain and what this game sounds like is the replay value is
Yeah.
it's not really there.
It's almost the opposite of the games we were talking about before.
Yeah.
There is a bit more replay value just from the prospect of like, well, all these people lived this time. Maybe I'll play again and they'll die.
See what else can happen, but
So I did. We played it the first time, and then we played it the second time as well, and we got them all to live or to die. I can't remember which one we did. But then the third time, I was kind of like, okay, I'm out. But Piper was still very much hooked into it, and she played that whole game just straight through again.
As she nods her head in
Yeah,
the background.
there was some point at like the very end where we missed something or did something wrong, so we couldn't get them all to live or all to die, whichever one we didn't do before. So that didn't quite work out, and that was kind of upsetting. I was very close to a platinum trophy in that game, and didn't happen because of that. So it was like either we restart the game from a point way early on, or there was something like fucked up that happened with the save. Like we did something wrong, so we tried to reload a save, but it went really far back, so that we would have to play like a huge chunk of the game again.
I hate when
I can't remember exactly what happened, but there was something fucked up like that happened.
But you'll return eventually, right?
Yeah, one day I'll play it again. And, like, it's not like that happened on our first playthrough. It happened on the third playthrough while we were trying to do something very specific, right? So I wouldn't say that that's, like, a real problem with the game. But I enjoyed that game a lot. Like, it was just a story. One time through was a lot of fun. The second time was more just novelty to really see how much you could affect the game.
Right.
But once I was through with that, I was kind of done with it.
Yeah, you're getting back into the same story, and you're just like, ugh.
Yeah.
I've seen this.
Yeah, especially since I rented it from Redbox, so I was trying to play it as much as possible. So I did all of this over like 2 days.
Oh yeah, that would.
I played it a ton because I didn't have a job at the time, and it was great.
What's next?
Okay, next up is this one's gonna be all you.
Oh yeah! This is actually, I'm just gonna say this, within my top 5 games of this year and last year.
Nice.
But we can.
Is this another re-release?
No, it's officially released.
Okay.
So
it was like early access last year.
I played early access, so I consider this game, coming out this year, since even though they had early access, the official release is this year, and I love it. It's Nuclear Throne. I've spent well over probably 700 hours in this game.
700?
Yeah, well, I mean, me personally, maybe not that much, but me and Brandon and Matt played it so much.
So you're talking like your Steam hour counter.
With Steam, I think it's around 600, and on my PS4, I think it's actually my PS4 is probably not 100 hours, so I'd say it's about 600 hours.
But still, 600 hours in Steam is quite a bit.
Yeah. Well, this is when I was unemployed.
Yeah.
And this is all I did was play Nuclear Throne, and
yeah,
holy shit, do I love this game! And I've been playing it this whole week. Actually, it's the only game I've been playing, and I was just telling James, I was like, I finally made it to the Throne Boss too. And, this is just like Binding of Isaac. It's a roguelike permadeath, but it's amazing. You just pick a character. It's always randomly generated. And you always start off with a pistol, like a revolver is actually what it is, and you just run around and you shoot these enemies, get through the courses of levels. It's super hard, and then once you level up, it gives you a random perk, so you can build all sorts of it gives you a random perk to choose out of 4. 5 if you're my favorite character, which is Horror. He's my whore.
So there's a lot of variation.
Oh yeah, each character's got special abilities, special passives. You can play co-op.
So that makes for a ton of replay value.
Oh yeah, so much replay value. And a lot of times matches usually last anywhere from like a minute to I think it took me about 15 minutes to get to the Throne Boss 2.
Oh really?
But that time just it seems like it's lasting a lot longer because it's so chaotic, and there's just, you'll get thrown into a mess, and it's always randomly generated. Like, you know what level it's going to be and what enemies are going to be on there, but you don't know what's set up. You don't know what traps are in store for you, so you're just like, ah, shit. And you can do some incredible things, and then sometimes you can just get incredibly fucked up. It's like I said, it's within my top 5. I love the game. I remember seeing it, I don't think it was Kickstarter. I remember seeing somewhere it was early access. Watched the trailer, loved it because it's pixelated. I like the pixelated artwork, and amazing. When I got the game, I was like, this looks cool, and then I was like, this is amazing. Like, oh my god. But I got Brandon into it. He was coming over like every night to play the game. Matt was doing the same. Like, it's one of those games like you pick up. It's like at first it's hard, like Binding of Isaac. You're like, man, I'm struggling. But once you get into like the speed and the pace of the game, you can just like take off, and you're just like, then sometimes you just get fucked up on like the first or second level because some random bullshit happens. Well,
Right.
not random, but when you're drunk, it's a little bit harder.
Yeah, and this, if anybody listened to some of our earlier episodes, you know that me and James made a deal where if I played, I think it was like this game and Crypt of the Necrodancer, I think
Yeah.
were the two,
I played.
then you would play Minecraft.
And guess what I've been playing?
Yeah, Minecraft. You've been playing Minecraft with me.
and I've been enjoying it.
Yes.
I was
We'll-
very.
We'll talk about that another day, though. We'll save
yeah.
that for another
Okay, but
But yeah, you have been playing Minecraft. I played Crypt of the Necrodancer before. So the only one left out of this deal is the Nuclear Throne. I've got to come play it.
we're gonna. I'll bring it over here and we'll record it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I have a 3-day weekend this week since it's the end of the year.
Oh yeah, me
So
too.
yeah, we'll do it. Oh yeah, we work at the same place.
Oh
Weird.
hey, yeah.
That's weird.
Crazy.
So yeah, we'll do that this weekend.
Nice. All right. That'll be fun. So look out for that. And then
I didn't even notice this before when we made this list, but like reading over it now,
it's
I'm
all
real-
me.
half of this list is just like re-releases of little indie games.
Yeah, well, that's what we've been playing. Like, there's
Yeah, that's true.
not been a lot of like major titles I've been too stoked for. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
But the next game in the lineup is Shovel Knight Plague of Shadows.
Woo! I
Now-
love that game.
Now, did Shovel Knight come out 2014?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. And this is the DLC that I've been waiting for because I love all things Plague. Like the Plague Doctors, I'm really big into like just how they look. How I love that idea of stuff. And to see Plague Knight and that he's the first DLC, I kind of geeked out a lot.
Yeah,
we
that's
have
definitely right up your alley.
We have an earlier episode where I kind of go into this more detail. But it's a lot of fun. It's really like the story of it, I feel, is almost stronger than Shovel Knight's story.
Yeah.
Hands down. Like they made the character a lot more unique, and it kind of just shows it from a villain's perspective.
Yeah.
And maybe it's like he's not really a villain. He's just doing his own thing.
Yeah.
So very cool. I won't go into it much, but
So,
Plague of Shadows is
I haven't played Plague of Shadows because
Oh, you-
I tried to play it on here and you were here, and we found out that I haven't beaten Shovel Knight on my
That's
PlayStation 4,
right.
so I hadn't unlocked it. I beat Shovel Knight on the 3DS, but I haven't actually played it on my PlayStation 4. So I would have to beat it, and I just didn't really want to get into it.
I'll come beat it for you sometime. I love
So-
Shovel Knight.
Do you play the same levels? Like,
It is the same levels, but they are like changed a bit. There are
Right.
certain things because certain ways that how Shovel Knight would get up a platform, Plague Knight can't do it. He can't do the
Right.
ground hop and stuff,
Right.
and so it is different. It's the same level, same bosses. There's a few differences. Yeah, that's great, and I love it.
yeah.
It had some kind of replay value to it, but I overplayed it just like I did Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
But I think you can tell what this means.
Yeah, it looks like you are going to do a dance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A jig, a little bit of this.
Yeah,
A little bit
so-
of that.
As we've been recording, James has drank 4 beers,
No, 5.
5
I
beers,
threw one away.
so he is going to go to the bathroom. We're going to take a little break.
Or I'm going to have a cigarette too.
We'll be right back.
But it'll be like an instant to you guys.
Yeah, it's going to be, I don't know, maybe like 3 hours for us. That sounds pretty reasonable.
Yeah, I got to finish this box beer.
No, we'll be back in just a minute.
Alright, love you guys. Hey oh, hey oh, hey oh, 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 oh.
And we're back. It's been about 3 days.
Yeah.
No, it's been like 10 minutes.
Yeah, I had pee and smoky time.
Yeah,
I
that was
feel-
it.
I feel good. Now I got another beer open.
Nice.
So, we went through games that we really enjoyed, just barely, that came out this year that were, not our top picks, but definitely enjoyable. So now let's get into the biggest disappointment of this year.
Yeah.
We're going to make a sidetrack from the best games to disappointment. And that would be Star Wars Battlefront.
Yep. If you guys listened to the episode where we first played and talked about Battlefront, then you kind of know what our feelings about it are, but we'll kind of just expound on that. a
Yeah,
little bit
it
more.
was just, I felt like it was a lot more promised than delivered. They removed a bunch of things from the original Battlefronts that, like story mode. For some reason, I love the story mode in the old Battlefronts.
Right.
Love that. It's really repetitive. I think that's, and like the other games we're talking about, Binding of Isaac, Nuclear Throne, they're repetitive, but that's what makes them fun is because they're repetitive and randomly generated. Whereas this it's forced online gameplay.
There are some single-player modes, which I haven't played at all, but...
Oh, they're like little trial missions, and I played some of it. Didn't enjoy it that much. I was just kind of like, man, bored.
Yeah.
They don't have any TIE Fighter-specific missions. I love the TIE Fighter.
See, now my big problem with Battlefront is that I have to look at it through the lens of Call of Duty, right? Because I played a lot of Modern Warfare 2 back in the day. Like, I played a ton of Call of Duty. So those first-person shooters, you have to get used to their specific mechanics, right? Because they're all a little bit different. So it's definitely frustrating at first, but you have to get into it. And then usually there's the depth to the game to make it worth it and give you kind of a leg up and let you do something different than everyone else. I didn't feel like Star Wars had any of that. Like, I felt like it was a very shallow game.
Yeah.
Which they've admitted as well. Like, they said they wanted it to be really generally accessible, but I feel like that kind of alienated what they could have had.
Yeah, and it's Star Wars. There's so much that they could have done with the Star Wars universe.
So, like, from the perspective of aesthetics and the Star Wars design, it was great. I've never played a game that made me feel more like I was in the Star Wars universe than this game.
Oh, no, it's great. And, like, the graphics
are amazing. Yeah, they're
Holy
great.
Shit.
But the actual gameplay, I didn't enjoy it.
I didn't care for it. And, I mean,
really
that's really hard for me because, like, if you listen to our episodes, I'm not a big first-person player or a big first-person shooter player.
Right.
And I always play in third person,
right.
Obviously, but like it's still the same basic concept, and it gets really repetitive really fast. I'll probably play like 3 matches and just be like, why am I not reaching the throne right now?
So I'll definitely borrow that game from you and play it a little bit more, but
oh, you're welcome to, man.
I was really excited for it. Like, I really wanted to get it and play it a lot. But then I played your copy that you got, and within like an hour or two, I was like, okay, I don't need this game.
Yeah.
I don't need to spend money on it.
Yeah, I kind of regret spending money on it. And I'm glad that I didn't, because that was going to be my Christmas present for like you and Jeremy. And,
yeah.
And I was going to go buy it that night, and then I bought it myself because I think it was you who was telling me not to do that.
Probably.
And then, sure enough, I didn't, and I'm glad I didn't, because I ended up getting you guys, what was it?
It was the Bloodborne DLC.
Yeah.
Have we talked about that on this show?
Yeah.
The Bloodborne DLC?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
We definitely, it's Bloodborne. We've talked about Bloodborne.
Yeah, we talk about Bloodborne every episode.
Yeah. But yeah, it was just really disappointing. Like, I just felt like when I saw it at E3, I was like, holy shit. It was like seeing the new Star Wars trailer, know?
By the way, new Star Wars movie is awesome.
Yeah, amazing.
But anyway, that's just a quick aside. We're not going to talk about
Star Wars. Let's not talk. This is Game of the Year.
But yeah, Battlefront had a lot of high hopes for it. Didn't live up to it. I'll play it here and there. Like, it's cool to be in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah, but it's just it has no like driving factor to bring me back. So.
Yeah, I think I would honestly rather play the old Battlefront games. Like,
me too.
On 360 or whatever the hell they were on.
They were fun.
Yeah, I really like those games.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So now we're gonna get into the short list, like the actual
top games of the year.
The actual contenders for game of the year.
This is what We Swear It's Gaming thinks are the best games that came out this year.
And it's also based on like the short list of other places. Like,
wait, should we talk about this one first?
Yeah. So these are not necessarily games that we want to pick as game of the year. But it's definitely the short list that I think everybody was considering for Game of the Year.
I think they all are except this next one.
So, all right, we'll just bring it in. The Witcher 3. Now, there's a lot of love going around for this game. Like, the Game Awards, it won Game of the Year. It's gotten Game of the Year at a couple places.
Yeah.
But I didn't love The Witcher. Like,
I didn't care for it.
I really like Skyrim. I really like open world
Dragon
exploratory
Age
games.
is awesome.
I liked Dragon Age a lot.
Yeah, which this game reminded me a lot of, almost like Dragon Age mixed with like Batman.
Yeah.
Which sounds like a great mix.
Yeah. But like I was on tour and Piper got it. I came home and I didn't have a job, so I was stoked to just play The Witcher a ton, right? I just couldn't get into it. Like
No, and I just, for me, the combat, I can't get into that combat. For
Yeah.
some reason, it was just really weird to me, and I just,
the combat felt very repetitive.
yeah. I
it
mean,
wasn't
like,
very
people
deep.
can be like, well, the combat in Batman's repetitive. It's like,
And it definitely is.
it is, but it's like you're fucking Batman, and the story
Yeah.
drives that game so much.
Yeah. And like the story in The Witcher, there were just so many new characters and so much new lore that I didn't feel like investing in. Like
Yeah.
I just didn't want to go down that road. So I think that definitely had an impact on me because they would bring things up and I would kind of just forget about it because I didn't really make a point to try to remember how everything fit together. So I got to a point where they would be bringing things up and I was like, what the hell are they talking about?
Yeah. And I played a good bit of The Witcher 2. I just didn't like it. Combat was clunky, it felt like. And the same thing, I didn't want to get myself invested in characters because
Right.
it just didn't have that drive for me.
Now, it looks amazing.
It does.
The world is huge. There are so many different things to do. It does that so well. But I wasn't interested doing any of them. Like, the only thing that really kept me playing The Witcher is the card game, Gwent. Like,
Yeah.
I progressed in the game just so that I could find new people to play Gwent with. Like, and that's a really weird thing to say.
Yeah, might as well pick up Hearthstone.
And like, I don't know what I'm missing in that game because like obviously people love it and like it is a huge technical achievement. Like that's probably one of the biggest games ever made.
Yeah.
Like there's so much that you can do in it.
And I respect the game for that. Don't get me
Absolutely.
wrong. I'm not saying I
It's
hate
a-
the game.
It's a very well made game. They put a lot of time and
Yeah.
thought into what they were doing.
It's not our choice.
Yeah, it's just not our game.
Matter of
I
opinion,
can't
guys.
say that it's not our style of game because I do like games in that style. This specific one just didn't hit me. Maybe I'll come back to it at some point. I doubt it, but maybe.
I'm probably never gonna play it.
Yeah.
Like you said, I don't want to get invested in something that for me, I have to enjoy the game mechanics a lot.
Yeah. To get invested in all the lore.
Yeah, and from what I've played, the combat, didn't enjoy it. I'd rather pick up Batman.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So sorry, Witcher.
Yeah, not getting our game of the year, but you've gotten enough love elsewhere.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's enough of the Witcher.
Speaking of the bats.
Batman. Batman's our next game.
Alright,
Batman the Arkham
so we have. So I guess we could say this is our top 5 within the top 5. I wouldn't say.
Knight.
it's in
I would say
order.
Batman is for sure within the top 5.
Yeah, well, we only have 5 games to talk about.
Right.
So this is our top 5. Not necessarily. Well.
Yeah, I don't even want to say it's our top 5 because like we didn't really organize it that
No,
way.
No, I
But
would say it's our top 5.
Batman is definitely in the top 5, but I don't want to give the impression that the next couple of games we're going to read are the top 5.
In order,
Right.
yeah. This is not in order. This is just we just picked 5 games we love. We didn't want to give one. Well, I want to give one.
Yeah.
But anyways, Batman. Batman. They brought Scarecrow as the main villain.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I am such a Scarecrow fangirl.
Yeah.
I fucking freak out every time I see Scarecrow. Ugh.
Yeah. So
Favorite comic book.
I really liked a lot of what they did with this Batman game. Like the story was great. How you start the game as you're that cop, and then the fear gas gets let out in that diner.
Yeah, I was not expecting that.
That was so cool. That was awesome. I loved that.
For a while, it was like, I didn't shoot, and then I was
Yeah.
like, I shot, I was like, oh, I can totally shoot
Yeah,
things. And
yeah.
oh my
Kill
god.
all these people.
And the whole thing they do with Batman going crazy,
With
I
the
guess we
fear
should
toxin.
wait. Yeah, let's get the spoiler. Yeah, spoilers from here on. If you haven't played the game, then fucking go buy it. Jesus Christ. But yeah, with his whole dilemma, like seeing Joker come back.
The way they put the Joker into this game was
Yes.
excellent. It was
Yes.
so good. Because he's like a figment of Batman's imagination.
Yeah.
So he's everywhere. He's like, one thing that I really loved about this game is how they made things happen dynamically. Like, you'd just be swinging around the city and you look at a poster, and instead of the normal face, it's the Joker's face.
Yeah, or
Like-
Joker'd be hanging out in a building.
Yeah, you get to the top of a building, and Joker's just standing there, like, talking to
And
you.
he's just like, "Hey, what's up, bats?"
Yeah,
And
just
he's
making
like,
fun of
"Oh."
all your decisions, talking about how what you're going to do is going to kill everyone you love. Just being the Joker.
Yeah,
I loved it.
And there's so many scenes like where, like every time you come into Scarecrow, that's when you really see the Jokers, because that's what Batman fears technically is.
Yeah.
You know, his one rule and he broke it, or something like that. But anyways, that one where you actually become Joker for a little bit, and you're like, "Oh, this feels amazing." I was
Yeah.
like, "Yeah."
Yeah, playing as Joker was really cool.
I mean, you're still Batman, but you're like
Yeah.
Joker. I
Yeah.
guess it's cool. And Scarecrow fucking killed it as like evil mastermind villain.
For sure.
Oh
He
my
did very
God.
good at that. Like, when he makes Barbara Gordon shoot herself, oh my god. That was great.
I lost. I think I was over here playing it because you were on tour, and I was
Yeah.
like, I need to play this game.
And you didn't have a PlayStation 4 at the time.
Yeah, so I came over, and when that happened, I could tell something was up because Piper kept sitting in the chair, just like looking at me. I was like, "What's going on?" And then I got to that scene, and I was like, "What the fuck?" Like I
Yeah.
literally like emotionally
It's
felt
intense,
attached to
right?
the game, and I was
Because in
Oh.
the earlier Batman games, it was like things didn't seem as high stakes, right?
Mhm.
But this one, we knew it was going to be the last one, so it was like no holds barred. Like anybody could die, anything
Yeah.
could happen. And so when she shot herself, I fully believed it. I was
I
convinced
did
that she
too.
was dead.
And then when I saw her come back at the end, I was like, oh, that was another big reveal
Yeah.
surprise. I was like, holy shit!
Like, I kind of felt like that was cheap, where they were like, oh, well, we got all the thrills of her dying, but we didn't really kill her. But at the same time, it made sense with the fear toxin.
Yeah.
Like, it was Batman seeing that happen, and that's what was important. We were seeing through Batman's eyes, and that's how he experienced that moment.
Yeah. And Scarecrow played off of it perfectly.
Yeah.
And just how and it's like he doesn't want to tell anyone either, which is a great internal struggle because
Yeah.
you know Robin's dating Barbara.
Yeah. And then you get into the whole thing where Robin's trying to help you, and he's like, Bruce, you can't do this alone anymore. Like, you're going to turn into the Joker. We've got to lock you up, and you've got to trust me to do this. And then Batman's just like, fuck that. I'm going to lock you up and do
Yeah.
all this myself. Like,
because Batman's
Oh my
such
God.
a badass.
that's like
Oh,
the epitome of Batman. Like,
yeah.
everything is out of his control. He is drowning. He can't possibly make it through. Everybody's trying to help him, and he's just like, no, fuck that. I don't need any of your help. I'm going to pull through this.
Yep.
And he somehow does it.
I'm
Like,
Batman.
oh my god, the story in that game was so good. I
That
loved
was a
it.
great driving point. And since then, they've come out with a bunch of DLC. Have you seen the DLC?
Yeah.
They had like 5 missions where you can fight Killer Croc, Mad Hatter, Mr.
Really?
Freeze,
I didn't see
Ra's al
those.
Ghul, and there's one more.
I knew that there was like the Harley Quinn story thing, and
Yeah,
there was
they-
like a Catwoman thing.
And Batgirl.
Yeah, and a Nightwing one. But I played the Harley Quinn one, and it was just like 15 minutes, and like I didn't feel like it was worth it at all.
Yeah.
So
I
we've-
would definitely recommend getting the DLC because I was watching those on YouTube, and it
Mhm.
looked like it took about 40 minutes to go through each mission. Comes with
Nice.
5 missions.
oh cool.
So it's actually like it feels like a healthy DLC other than this like I mean it's 5 missions, so obviously, you know, it's not it's a lot longer what they added with Harley Quinn
Right.
and
So,
that's still
we've talked a lot about what Batman did really well, and like I did really enjoy the game, but it wasn't a perfect game by any means. It definitely had its downsides.
No. Well,
Um,
let's say we played it on console. We didn't play it on PC.
Right, yeah, so we're not even talking about technical glitches.
No.
We're talking about
What the game was meant to be, right? And I think the obvious big downfall of Arkham Knight is the Batmobile. Like how much they want you to do in the Batmobile.
Yeah.
Like I liked driving around the city.
It's fun.
I
but,
thought it was
like,
cool that
I
they added
felt
the
like
Batmobile.
It was just overdone.
Yeah, what I hated is like, oh, we have another stealth tank battle. Yeah, that sounds like fun. Like,
Yeah,
no, that's
and when you like really like, I guess, do you take down the Arkham Knight in the tank or outside of it? I'm pretty sure
you do it in the tank.
I know you did.
Well, you do it in the Batmobile.
And well,
Like it's one of the few fights you have in the
no,
Batmobile.
because then he. Oh no, that's right.
So you get him to chase you in the Batmobile and like destroy his thing.
Tough.
It was, yeah. But then later you do kind of fight him. It's more like a Predator thing where you have to sneak up on
Yeah.
him. But yeah, I felt like they shoehorned the Batmobile into it way too much. Like, it was frustrating. It wasn't as cool. It didn't feel like a Batman game. Like, I was blowing up a ton of tanks, like having all this firepower, like destroying Gotham City, and it was like, this isn't really Batman. Like,
No, like, yeah, and you just run through, like, pillars, and
yeah,
everyone's gonna come back to Gotham and be like, holy shit, look at all this damage. And
Yeah.
Batman's like, wasn't me.
yeah.
It's Scarecrow.
So that game like went between huge high moments and then just like, why the fuck do I have to kill 6 tanks in stealth mode? Like, this is retarded. You would get like through 4 of them and then one of them would kill you and it'd be like, God fucking damn it!
Gotta
I'm gonna
redo
do
it.
it all again. It was
I
very
never
frustrating.
died on those, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Alright,
Power
well,
of being drunk.
yeah, maybe you're just better than I am.
Yeah. You're just realizing that? Oh, I love you, James.
Yeah. So
All right, so
We-
Batman,
we-
you made it in the list.
we
love
really
it.
did enjoy Batman, but it definitely has its downfalls. Another thing I was thinking, the combat is old at this point. Like, in the first game, the combat was great. It was amazing. But now that we've had it for so many years in 3 games, it's just like,
I still enjoy it
uh,
because I mean I like to do all sorts of crazy things like throw battering and like bat claw. Like I
Mhm.
use my gadgets more than I probably punch people.
yeah. It is cool, but now that this is the 3rd time we've done it, it's just not nearly as compelling for me.
Yeah.
So,
But I mean, it's their last time, and they did an amazing
For sure.
job at it.
yeah.
Especially with the last mission when you know, Scarecrow's got you tied up. He's like just shooting you up with a bunch of fear talks, and you become the actual Joker.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
oh.
So the story and like the little, I guess, vignettes that they did where like you played as that cop at the beginning and things like that, all that was amazing.
Fucking
The storyline was
awesome.
so good.
And that's what really makes that game.
Yeah, and that's why it is in our top list because of those things.
And we love Batman. I mean,
Yeah.
who doesn't love Batman?
Who doesn't love Batman? But like, I have been thinking about it a lot. I really think that Arkham Asylum is the best Batman game.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about that another time. Do you really have to go to the bathroom again? This is like
Start-
3 times.
Dude, I've been checking these beers. It's okay. Start with the next tile. I'll be right in.
No, let's pause it. What is the next title? Oh, okay. All right, I can do this next one without you. Okay, just go
All right.
for it.
I'll be right back.
Okay. All right. Well, no, actually, let's pause it because I've gotta have somebody to reflect off of. I can't just talk.
I have to fart too.
All right. Well, I'm gonna keep talking for a little bit just so that like you can't go to the bathroom. Just.
Yeah, I'm doing it.
Okay, we're taking a pause break. All right, now that James is gone, I can tell you guys about. Okay, back again. It's been a week this time.
Yeah, whole week. Actually, I went to the bathroom and I found there's a jackhammer in your bathroom.
There's a jackhammer in there.
Yeah, do you want to know where I found it?
Where?
Right here.
Oh, well.
Pointed at my dick.
Yeah. That was funny. No, it was about like a minute maybe. We paused for a minute.
I went pee really fast. I just like sat there and was like, just shot it right out. Might have left some dents in your bowl.
Yeah. Okay. So the next game in our list is Metal Gear Solid 5.
Awesome, amazing. I haven't played it.
But it's amazing.
It's amazing.
So, Metal Gear Solid 5, it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it a lot.
And it was a really great thing since they came out with Phantom Pain, which was literally a Phantom
No,
Pain.
Ground Zeroes.
Ground Zero. Oh, yeah, Phantom Pain is the one that just came out.
Yeah, Phantom Pain is the actual game. Ground Zeroes was like the demo for it, which is really
I know why
weird.
they called it Phantom Pain. It's because
Why?
the previous title was so painful that you're like almost like, oh man,
No,
this is gonna be terrible, and then
not
it's
at
like,
all.
nope, bam.
No, you're totally wrong about that.
I know. I'm you
The
know.
reason they call it Phantom Pain is because he lost his arm. He lost his
Oh,
arm. So
I wonder how that'd be. Anyways,
yeah. So Metal Gear, it's very different from the other Metal Gear games. It's an open world game, so you basically get sent in and you can infiltrate these bases however you want, use whatever tools you want to either like kill certain people or extract certain people or just like take down a whole settlement.
that was the first thing
Um,
I saw when I walked in. You were playing it, and you're like, "Come over and check this game out." You were lifting some guy off with a balloon. I
Yeah.
just couldn't help but laugh. I was like,
Yeah.
"What the fuck?"
And just like all Metal Gear games, it mixes like very serious stuff with just absolute ridiculous stuff.
yeah.
So like
but
you're infiltrating this base, you're super stealthy. And then you knock this guy out, and you put like a thing on him, and he just gets carried up into the sky by a balloon. You basically kidnap these guys and force them to work for you.
But you're the boss.
But yeah, I really liked how the things that you were doing within the game, like it's a repetitive game for sure. But the things that you were doing there built up your base, which allowed you to create more weapons, and have different costumes and things like that. Like, they did a very good job of making the repetitive things feed back into itself.
Yeah, it was
so like
rewarding.
yeah, exactly. Like it has like a meta game where you're not just infiltrating these bases, you're trying to gather resources so that you can get more weapons, so that the next time you infiltrate a base you can do it differently or easily
Or different.
yeah. So I had a ton of fun with Metal Gear, and then one day I just hit a wall where I was like, I've done this. Like, the mission they want me to do, I've basically done this before. I'm just infiltrating this base again.
So you haven't beat it then, have you?
I've not nearly beat it.
Oh.
But yeah, just one day I was like, I don't really want to play anymore.
That happens with us, I notice a lot.
Yeah.
We just hit those walls and we're just like, I got like 20 other games to play.
Yeah. But I played it for a good 20 hours at least.
Oh, yeah.
Like, probably
And,
more.
No, it's awesome, too. And one thing that's really cool about this game that they've never done with Metal Gear before is it is open world.
Yeah.
But they let you select your missions. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm going to go do this, and it lets you go out and explore the world on your own.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really cool. And
Yeah.
the whole partners thing with the game, obviously you want to keep the dog because the dog's the best.
Yeah, I did keep the dog for a while, but then I kind of... I don't know, I didn't think that the companions were that good. Like, maybe I didn't play with them enough, but I didn't really like the sniper quiet. I didn't really like the mech suit that you get.
You get a mech suit?
Yeah, you totally get a mech suit thing.
Oh, man.
It's not like a full
Matt
mech
just
suit.
breaks down the door. Mech suit? What?
Mech suit? You guys are talking about mech suits. Yeah, so I did really enjoy Metal Gear. I'll for sure go back to that game, but I just hit a wall where I was like, this is just too repetitive for me right now. But it was a great game. I really enjoyed it. Fantastic production values. Like, you can tell that a lot of time and thought went into most every little corner of that game.
Oh, yeah. And it really, it's sad that the director left the company, but he
Yeah.
probably did it for good reasons.
Yeah, there's a bunch of shit going on with Kojima, and we don't really know the details, but it's a sad day to say that there's never going to be another Kojima Metal Gear Solid. It's not going to happen again.
I just, when games do that, where they lose their initial director, kind of like what was it? Wasn't it Call of Duty that happened with?
I don't think so.
Oh God, there was another game. But when they lose their director, like, yeah, because that's the game that you love playing. It's like if From Software was to lose their main guy.
Yeah.
Sad.
But it's definitely sad. It's the end of an era.
But he left on a great fucking note.
He did.
The
He made an
best
excellent
note.
game.
Yeah, so
Excellent.
Metal Gear Solid 5 Phantom Pain.
I'll definitely be coming back to it. It's on
We
our
love
short
you.
list. Okay, so next is going to be Mario Maker. Everybody's favorite plumber. Back
Yes.
again. How many times do you think that they can release a game about Mario and just make billions of dollars on it? They've done
Forever.
it so many times.
Mario is such a staple in Nintendo games, and I mean, like, the thing is, like, even if if Nintendo was to go down, someone's gonna buy the right to Mario.
Yeah, for
Mario
sure.
is not gonna die. He
Yeah.
is such an iconic character. Like
Mario is the mascot for video games. Period.
yeah, he was the first character that actually. It's like Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's right up there with Mickey Mouse. He's more alive than me and you, basically, because he's gonna live a lot longer.
Yeah, and he matters to far more people than we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the thing that was really ingenious...
Thanks for realizing we're pieces of shit, Mario. Just kidding.
The thing that was really ingenious about Mario Maker is that they're not making a new game. They're not like, hey, here's Mario in a different circumstance, which has worked for them a lot, but it's also kind of not worked for
Yeah,
them.
it's backlash.
But the genius of
sometimes.
this is that they are taking the games that everyone knows and loves and just giving you all the keys to it. They're telling you, do whatever you want with this game.
And they made it really simple.
They did make it very simple. I
mean,
was very surprised at
Yeah,
how
and you can
simple
be
it
very
was.
sadistic and make, that's like the main thing with Mario Maker lately is be very sadistic. Make levels are
Impossible.
yeah, and I've made some pretty hard levels.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say they're impossible though.
Yeah.
You beat all my levels.
Yeah. But definitely my favorite part about that game was making the levels.
Yeah,
Like-
I enjoyed that a lot. I didn't think I would. I was
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna probably just get this game to play other people's levels, and then when you sit down and start designing your level, it's just like Minecraft, where you
Yeah.
just like get lost. In
Yeah,
it,
you
and you're just
definitely
like,
lose
oh man,
yourself.
I can do this, and then you find out new mechanics just from just fooling around, and it's so much fun. And then by the time you finish it, like it's hard to say when you finish it because like
Yeah.
you don't
Like,
want to finish it.
I don't think I finished a level ever in that game. Like, the only time I've played it is when I came over to your house, but I don't think I finished any of the levels
But
I was
you
working on.
spent probably like a good 4 or 5 hours on that level.
Uh-huh, yeah.
Yeah,
Easy. Yeah.
But that's what's really fun about it. And then another thing that's really great about that game is watching someone play your level.
Yeah, it's a lot of
I
fun.
don't know what it is. It's just
Yeah.
like, like 'cause
Yeah.
you know what happens.
Because
and
you
stuff.
spend so much time, like, assuming what people are going to do and how they're going to play the level. And then someone plays your level and you're like, oh my god, I never thought that you would do that.
Yeah,
Like,
they
I
just-
didn't even know that was possible, and I built this level. That is a lot of fun, but it definitely loses its allure when it's, like, online. Like, the main thing of that game is the couch co-op. That's what makes it so much fun.
Oh yeah.
Is to, like, watch someone play your level and you're right next to them.
And you can throw a level up, but you can't watch them play it.
Yeah, and it's not as much fun if you don't know the person, like some
Yeah.
random person playing your level. Like, I'm sure it would be interesting, but
It's still really cool,
yeah.
but
But like when I was playing your levels, I could sit there and be like, God damn it, James, why would you build it like this? Like,
I am God.
yeah,
I'm benevolent.
yeah. You kept saying that you were a benevolent God. Like,
was like-
you would put in like one mushroom somewhere after like
I'm a benevolent but just God.
yeah. Like, it would be so ridiculously hard, and then you'd be like, oh, but there's a mushroom right there. I'm benevolent. Like, I'm a good God.
Have mercy. It was so much fun, especially when it was you, Matt, and Colby going through
Yeah.
like just God damn it, and it was just
Yeah.
it's fun to be a sadist sometimes.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about this game is they've released several updates for it,
Right.
free.
Yeah. Yeah.
They've added checkpoints, they added new skins. It isn't like the coolest, but they also added. Did you see the clown cart thing that they had?
No.
So when you shake a clown cart now, it turns into a fire clown cart. And
Oh,
when you,
really?
Like, it shoots fireballs, but directly in front of it.
Uh-huh.
So you could totally make like a, I want to say it, Galaga or not Galaga. A side scroller
Yeah.
rail shooter
Right, yeah.
thing like that. So that I really want to go back and revisit that element because that's really cool.
Yeah, and there are so many little things in that game where you're like, I didn't know I could do this. I want to build a whole level around it.
Yeah.
Like, you're right in the middle of making a level, and you're like, oh my god, this is so compelling to me that I don't even care about finishing this level.
Yeah.
I'm going to go start a brand new one with all these ideas that I have.
That's how it was with that one where I started the moles and it had the lava. I was going to make like this whole thing with it, and then I made one room where you hit the bombs
Yeah.
and you have to blow up a wall while shit happens around you.
Yeah.
And
that
the
was
whole
a good
level just became like 3 different rooms of that variation, with the last one just being like a bunch of homing bullet bills with the floor falling out beneath you, trying
Yeah.
to blow up the wall. It's beatable. I've done it.
I
You've
did
done
it.
it. Yeah.
I did it.
But it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that game. I wouldn't feel comfortable giving it Game of the Year just because
No.
it's basically like a really old game
It's
that they
within
just...
my top 5.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But it's basically just an old game that they unlocked everything to. Like,
yeah.
it's just like they opened up the developer tools
But
to it, which
that's
on a lot of
really
computer
good
games you
idea.
can do it.
Yeah, a lot,
Yeah.
but like no one, no one's ever thought. Well, people have done it in the Mario. You can go
Mm-hmm.
online and see like the crazy, insane Mario levels
Yeah.
people have made. But this allows it. It's like for general users. And
Yeah. No, I think what Nintendo's biggest fallback is that people have been pitching awesome games out of their properties forever. Like, people have been wanting to be able to make their own Mario levels forever. Like, people have been wanting an open world RPG Pokemon game forever.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Nintendo has so many game ideas that they could just be like, well, people have been telling us to make this game for like 10 years now. We might as well just do it and make $1 billion. Whatever.
Speaking of open world Pokemon games, Pokemon Go. that might be it.
Yeah, we'll see how it turns out.
Yeah, this is gonna be interesting.
I'm worried about it. Like,
I am.
it could be really cool though. But anyway, we're not talking about
Well, here's a well.
Pokemon. Okay, we'll talk about Pokemon a little bit.
No, I know this has to do more with Mario Maker.
Oh, okay.
When they announced Mario Maker, I think it was like in 2014 E3.
Uh-huh.
I had no interest in the game. I was like, "What
Right.
the fuck is this shit?" Like,
Right.
it's like, this looks dumb.
Yeah.
And then as it went on and on, I was like, "This looks amazing." So I'm hoping I get the same thing from Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah. But Mario Maker, great game. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
All right,
so we're up to the last two.
Yeah, down to our last two. So we'll start with Fallout. Fallout 4. Fallout 4 is great. I really, really enjoyed Fallout 4.
Oh yeah,
I
it's
put-
being played as we speak.
Yeah, Piper's playing it right now. I put probably at least 60 hours into Fallout 4. I beat all of the main storyline quests that you can do. Like, there's 3 or 4 different endings, and I did them all.
What? Can you do all of them within the same game?
No, you have to, like, load previous saves. There's a certain
Oh,
point
I
where you,
see.
like, have to make a decision to
Okay.
pick who you go with. So I, like, went down that tree and then came back to my save point and went down the other tree. Did it again. So I've played a ton of Fallout 4. I really, really like that game. You can go anywhere, do whatever you want. It's just like Fallout 3. It's a lot like Skyrim. So that is, like, a big selling point for it because people love those games. But it also kind of holds it back because it's nothing new. It's not special anymore. Like,
Yeah, but the one thing that they did do is they announced it this year and they delivered.
yes,
They did
that was
not
amazing.
Delay it, which, if you want to build hype,
That
release it on the date you say it.
that game had the most hype that I can remember since Grand Theft Auto 5.
Yeah,
Yeah, and that's
Like-
been what, 2 years?
yeah. I remember Batman had a lot of hype, and then they delayed it, and
Yeah.
it killed it instantly. It was
Right.
like,
Yeah,
so when it
But-
finally came out, I was like, oh yeah, it's finally out.
but like for a week or two after Fallout came out, that's all you heard about was Fallout.
Yeah,
Everybody was talking
it
about
even
it.
trumped, Battlefront, which
Yeah.
they even had the new Star Wars movie coming out.
Right,
but-
and Star Wars is like one of the biggest properties in the world.
yeah.
And Fallout just had so much more cachet with the gamers. Like, it was crazy. But I really loved Fallout, but there wasn't much new to it. It was like, it felt almost like an expansion to Fallout 3. Like, obviously, they updated the graphics, they made things run a little bit smoother.
I wouldn't say the graphics were top notch though,
For sure not.
but I mean it looks great. Don't get me
Yeah,
wrong.
it looks much, much better than 3 ever
yeah.
could have.
But their focus wasn't in making like the most graphic, like Star Wars is like it looks fucking amazing, but
Yeah.
the gameplay sucks. Whereas this is like, we skimped on the graphics to actually deliver a game that you could sit there and play for hours.
Yeah, and like, I have played a ton of it, but I would imagine there's 2 or 3 times what I've already done that I haven't even touched. There's
yeah.
so much to that game.
I've heard a lot of complaints like the map's not big, like it's not as huge. It's like,
Yeah.
well, there's so much to do in the game. Like if you had a
Right.
huge map, you'd almost be complaining that there's not too much to do, but like
It's you have to walk too far for
yeah,
anything. Like,
exactly.
the map is very dense. There's a lot of stuff going on in it. You don't have to walk very far to find a new area, to find a new cave, to find a new settlement.
I remember that when I was watching you play one time, you walked past this really big factory,
Yeah.
and you've never seen it before, and you're like, wow, that's probably gonna take me 2 hours to go through that. I was like,
Yeah,
wow,
at least.
damn.
Yeah. I also played it very meticulously. Like, I picked up all of the junk that you could. One big thing that they did change for this game is in all Bethesda games, you could just pick up random junk that had no use at all. All it did was weigh you down.
Mm-hmm.
But in this game, they have a crafting system, so all of that junk that you pick up is worth something. You can use it to build other things. You
That's
use it to upgrade your guns. You use it to build your settlements.
even like ashtrays.
Yeah, everything.
Wow.
Everything.
Well, you can melt that down for like plastic, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, you can find like an alarm clock somewhere and use that for like metal and springs and stuff. And
That's cool.
yeah, there's
Because that was one
everything.
thing with like a lot of those games like open world RPGs like Skyrim, Fallout 3. There's another one. It's not coming to me right now, but you just find fucking junk, and you're like,
Yeah.
well, I'm just gonna either sell this for like 1 copper.
Yeah. Or just drop
wow,
it.
that's it. Oh my god, there's so much junk in WoW.
Yeah. But the gun customization in that game is great. There's a lot of customization you can do to every single gun. It's not like you have to get this specific type of gun to get this specific type of attachment for it. You can do almost anything with any gun that you want.
That's really cool.
It was
you
great.
can make your own gun your way.
Yeah,
The
you
boom stick.
you can't make your own gun, but you find a gun and you can upgrade and change it. Like you can add different scopes, you can add different stocks, you can change the receiver, I think it's called, which is like it affects like how much damage it does.
Okay.
But it also changes how the gun looks, right? You can add different scopes and things like that, different magazines, and all of these pieces are individual. So you can have this scope with this stock and this barrel, and have like any variation of it in between for every gun that you have. Like it's very deep. There's a lot that you can do with it. I really, really enjoyed that.
Well, when a game makes a great crafting system, like you can get lost in that itself. You know?
For sure.
One thing, are you done with crafting?
No, yeah, we can. Whatever.
One thing I noticed that, because I watched you, Matt, Andrew, Chase, all play, Fallout 3. I've seen so much gameplay of that. One thing I've noticed from that compared to this game, which I personally love, and I've never played these games.
Yeah.
But was the power armor.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, that is so cool how it's actually like a suit you get into. Because in the other games, you just like it was armor you equipped or something, or
It's the same thing. They just didn't have the animation of you getting into the suit.
really.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it didn't feel like it was. Like this game really emphasized you being like an unstoppable force.
Right.
Like the other games, I couldn't even tell he was in power armor. I was just like,
Right.
it just seemed natural to me. But in this one, like even how you walk, your HUD changes dramatically, and it's so cool. I loved it because I remember I came over. Like, no, you share played with me.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm gonna go take down this beast.
Yeah,
you
it
got
was
your power armor, Deathclaw.
Yeah, Deathclaw. Yeah, that's what it was.
Hey, I
Yeah,
know my shit.
You knew it. Yeah, because I went in there and that Deathclaw beat the shit out of me, and that's when like right after that happened is when you were like, hey, I want to like check it out. So I was like, all right, I'm just about to go fight this Deathclaw. So like I went home, grabbed my power armor, came back and fought that Deathclaw.
And he was like throwing you around, but you were still living, and you totally took him down.
Yeah.
The other time that was great is when you took on that Deathclaw at that like the witch's hut or something.
Oh yeah, at the museum,
And
the
you
witch
kept,
museum.
like,
or
using
whatever.
your fat boy.
Yeah, that nuke, and I kept just blowing myself up.
Yeah, you did that like 5 times.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. But see again, like when you can do silly stuff like that, but it's still awesome. That's how you know it's a great game that's gonna hold time.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna go back to Fallout. I wanna just do everything. In
Yeah.
it,
Well, there's so much to it. Like just watching Piper, she's just been customizing her base this whole time.
Yeah, she's done that for probably half the time that she's played the game.
This is only one of my bases.
Oh, only one.
Only one.
Yeah.
I have 5 that I'm working on extensively, and more than that
So
I
it's kind of
just
like a
have at least
Minecraft thing. To
food
it,
and resources.
Yeah,
set up.
there is definitely a Minecraft aspect to building your base.
But that's really cool because like Mario, like just building your own shit is awesome.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. But yeah, I am having a very hard time choosing my game of the year, but this is definitely one of the contenders for sure.
Yeah. Okay. So on that note, we talked about either we should just do like a list like we did, or have like one title that we both agree on. I'm dead set in my ways in my game of the year.
I just can't commit.
Yeah. So we'll
even right up to when we were starting this episode, James was like, "You know what your game of the year is?" And I was like, "No, no."
And you knew damn well I knew what my game of the year.
Yeah,
was.
everybody's known what your game of the year is for
Oh,
months.
is that? It's probably been obvious since episode 1.
Yeah, well, it's the last one. We've talked about Fallout. Let's move on. What
the
is
game of the year?
What's your game of the year?
Bloodborne.
Bloodborne.
Oh yeah.
Big surprise for everybody.
Really?
No,
Oh.
it's not a surprise at all. Everybody knew it was
I
coming.
fucking love Bloodborne. I've spent so much time doing it. It's like the main reason why I bought a PlayStation 4.
Right.
Because, like, I was really enthralled with Bloodborne. Even before I really started getting too far into the Souls game, because of the style, the art style of the game.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw that, I was like, fuck, this is me right here. Like,
Yeah.
if I was
It's
making
definitely
a game,
right up
this
your
is
alley.
what it would look like, and it was
Yeah.
just that gothic. What would you say? Gothic.
Kind of like Victorian era.
Gothic Victorian, yeah, and it
Mhm.
like the weapons in it looked amazing, and the combat, like, it was the first time I actually, like, when I saw that, that's when I was like, I saw it and I didn't know it was From Software. I'm pretty sure you told me that. I was like, wait,
Yeah.
From Software makes Dark Souls, and I was like, I need to reevaluate my hate on Dark Souls because I've never played it.
Yeah.
I went back and played it, fucking fell in love with it, and then Bloodborne just stole my heart
Yeah.
like a vicious whore of the night.
Yeah. So I got Bloodborne when it was brand new because there was not a whole lot to play on my PlayStation 4. Especially since I tend to get a game and just like beat it till it's dead, right? I just play the shit out of it.
We overplay games too much.
For sure. So I was definitely ready for something new. I was like chomping at the bit for something, and I started playing Bloodborne. And just to get to like the first boss, it took me probably 10 hours. It took me a long time to figure out how that
Wow.
game works. I remember you guys coming over to play it, you
Yeah,
and
me and
Jeremy.
Jeremy.
And I was like, man, we're going to be here for a while. And then you guys just tore through it, and I was like, God damn, how are you doing
Well, we've
this?
been playing Dark Souls for a while at that
Exactly,
point. We
and
knew
I-
how like those games kind of work, and I think we beat the first boss within like an hour and a
Yeah,
half.
I was amazed because it took me a long time, but I had never played a Souls game before.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like Souls games are very unforgiving,
They're different from almost any
Yeah.
other game you've played before.
and me and Jeremy knew like in order to level up, we had to make it to the first boss. So
Right.
we just trumped through it. I think when we first fought him, we went back and grinded, leveled up, and then came. Because that's when you get your first insight.
Right. So I really fell in love with that game. I
Oh, it's
was
so
I just
great.
stuck with it through all the frustration all the way through to the end. Within this year, I've beaten that game 4 times.
See, I can't even say that.
Yeah.
And I've only beaten it twice, but I think the reason I'm about to beat it for my 3rd time.
Yeah.
But I waited for the DLC, which
Mhm.
the DLC is amazing, fucking hard
Yeah.
as hell.
Yeah,
Oh
if-
my
If
God.
the normal game was hard, the DLC really
Oh,
ups the ante.
Lawrence! God damn it!
Dude, I haven't even beat the DLC,
Oh, it's hard, man.
It's very hard.
It's hard.
but yeah, we fucking love Bloodborne. Like,
Oh my god.
just the different weapons that you can use.
oh
Like,
yeah.
they're great. The different variations of the weapons that you have, I love that. How you can like switch between your one-handed stance and your two-handed stance in the middle of a combo.
And the guns,
Um,
like I know the guns don't do the most damage unless you're me.
Yeah,
Because I went with a straight blood tinge build. I knew what weapons I wanted, so I built. And there's different levels of caps. So when you get to like level 25 in
Yeah.
a thing, it'll cap off, so it gives you less benefit until 35, and then it's like 45 or 40,
yeah.
and then after that, it just like barely upgrades it. But on that note, I have like 55 blood tinge, and people are like, "Oh, you don't really need to go that high." It's like, fuck no, I do. Because I'll PvP and I'll use my chimichanga and cut people up.
Yeah.
And then when they're trying to run away, I'll just pull out my gun, which is completely maxed. There's been so many times where I'll just shoot them, and it's surprising how much damage it does. And I think it surprises them too, because
Yeah.
it's just like one bullet does 400 damage, and it's like,
Yeah.
holy shit.
And my favorite thing to do in that game is if you get a shot off at just the right time while they're attacking, it'll stun them.
Yeah,
And you
visceral.
can do the visceral attack. It's so much fun. That game is all about timing, and it really makes you balance it because in most games you just can power through it. Like you just run right up to somebody and you keep attacking until
Oh
they're
yeah,
dead.
hack and slash.
And
This game's
that's why I had so much trouble with it starting, is because that's the mindset I went into.
Mhm.
And you have to think about it differently. You have to be very strategic. Like you only have a certain amount of stamina, and you use that stamina both to attack but also to dodge away.
Right.
So you can't use all your attack and expect to survive. You have to plan it out.
I think most people learn that lesson the hardest on ROM.
Yeah.
ROM is definitely that breaking point where it's like your stamina meter needs to always be in check.
Yeah.
But that's great.
But yeah, that game is so much fun. Like, it's just so replayable.
It is, and I've gone through. I have another character I've been playing a bunch. My old brother. Haven't played in a while. We need to, but he's always playing the crew.
Yeah. I don't know why he likes those racing games so much. I really tried to get into a couple of them, and I just suck at it. Like, it's not much fun for me.
Hell, if I was gonna play a card game, I'm just gonna play Rocket League.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, Bloodborne. And the cool thing is, it came out this year. The DLC came out this year. It's the only DLC that's coming out with it, which is kind of like
But I'm glad that they had a vision and they stuck to it.
Yeah.
Like, it's for sure not something that they took out of the original game to make DLC. They absolutely made that after the game came out. It was a great addition.
They added a bunch. It didn't feel like they were just like they didn't hack it. It was like, okay.
And it was for sure something like, okay, we know this game is really hard. We know it's not very easily accessible. So if anybody's going to buy the DLC, it's going to be for the people who've really stuck around and are really into it.
Yes.
So they for sure came through on that aspect that they made this DLC for the hardcore players.
Yeah.
And it worked out great.
Oh, I love it. And they added so many cool items,
New
weapons. Like the Beast Straff?
I don't know the names of any of the weapons.
Yeah, but it's like the new Beast Cleaver, like the saw cleaver.
Yeah.
But it looks like a scythe. That weapon took me for a loop, and I love it because when you have your cleaver, it's folded up. That's its like first form.
Yeah.
And the second form is when you unfold it. It's reversed for this weapon, which I was like, because I thought like every time I switched it, I was like, why is it out? I needed to have it folded up, and I realized, and I was like, holy shit, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I love the PvP in the game.
Yeah, PvP is a lot of fun.
Yeah, and that was one thing, like, I never got into, like, the Soul series, because when I joined the Soul series, there was just players, like, way far above me doing their thing, and how they had, like, their whole, like, soul system in Dark Souls, like, how you have to join parties.
Yeah.
You have to be
It is really hard to play with your friends.
But Bloodborne, they're just like, no, we did away with that.
Yeah, they made it much easier.
Made it so much easier to access. And I fucking love the game. You should know this from 9 episodes now.
Yeah.
I've brought it up in every single one.
If you have a PlayStation 4 and you haven't played Bloodborne, go buy it right now.
Yeah. And you might be like, oh, I'm not a hardcore gamer. That doesn't matter. Like, we have a bunch of people that I know that have played in there. That's actually a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And it's hard. Don't get discouraged. It is hard, but it's rewarding as hell.
Like, I feel like a big problem with a lot of modern games is that they don't want to let you fail. Like, they're like, okay, we've got all these challenges, but you're going to get through them anyway.
Or they add, like, some kind of easy mode.
It makes it so that nothing really has any meaning. Like, okay, I got that past that part, but, like, all I did was just run right up to him and attack without any regard for defense.
Yeah.
I just attacked until they were dead. So this definitely teaches you a different way to play the game, and you have to play within its guidelines, or you're not going to get anywhere.
Yeah, but it's once you figure that out and you go through, like you said, it took you like 10 hours for your first boss.
Yeah.
I think just
that might be an exaggeration, by the way. I don't know. I didn't count it. It took me a long time.
But compared to like me and Jeremy, who've been playing the game, got used. We know from software mechanics. You know, we were able to jump into it. Another thing with Dark Souls 2, I never really used a shield.
Yeah.
And in Dark Souls, blocking is a very prominent thing. This game does away with blocking.
Yeah, no blocking. It's so much faster.
Well, you can get a wooden shield, but don't do it.
It doesn't do anything.
It doesn't do shit. So, actually, the new shield, the lock shield's pretty cool.
Oh, the one in the DLC?
Yeah, it blocks, like, magical attacks, which is actually really useful. Can you imagine that against ROM?
Right, yeah. That would be awesome.
Yeah, but Bloodborne, you are my game of the year.
For sure.
Not we swear, technically, but
so
my game.
I guess I want to talk just a little bit about why I'm having so much trouble picking a game of the year, right?
Because you're telling me you're conflutuated.
Yeah, conflutuated. That's a word.
Conflict.
But so I kept my two picks are for sure Fallout 4 and Bloodborne, for sure. But then I started thinking like, yeah, I think I'm gonna pick Fallout. But then I was like, but Fallout wasn't really a new experience for me. Like I feel like I've already had that experience, you know. But like, is that the criteria I should be basing it on? Should I be basing it on how impressive the game is, how immersive it is, how much fun I had with it? Like, there are just so many factors that go into it, and I couldn't decide which one was the most important because I kept going back and forth between Bloodborne and Fallout because, like, I picked Fallout first, right, obviously, and then I was like,
Right.
but I just loved Bloodborne so much, and it was a brand new experience for me, whereas Fallout wasn't so much. So then I was going to go with Bloodborne, but then I was like, but, like, Bloodborne isn't nearly as deep as Fallout is.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much more to do in Fallout than there is in Bloodborne.
Yeah, Bloodborne, you know, it's almost like a rel game where you just go on your path and do the thing. Like, there's side stuff you can do, but I can see what you mean.
But, so then I was like, well, I'll just go with whatever game I had the most fun with. But then I was like, Dying Light was amazing. I loved Dying Light. So, should that one factor in there? But I don't really think that game should beat Bloodborne and Fallout 4 for Game of the Year, right? So I'm just having a lot of trouble deciding between these. It's like comparing apples and oranges, you know? Like it's just hard to pick one over the other because they're different.
Well, it's easy when you're allergic to bananas.
That's true. Yes. But thinking about it now, I think I'm going to go with what I was most engaged in at the time, what I had the most fun with, and what I kept coming back to over and over. And I think I'm going to have to go with Bloodborne.
Bloodborne
takes it.
We swear it's gaming. Bloodborne, you're number one!
Because, like
throw
I
up
said...
the banisters, throw up the... I'm actually going to edit all this in. I'm going to animate this.
Yeah. But, like I said, I beat Bloodborne 4 times this year. I played Dark Souls 2 once, didn't play it for months until we picked it up again. I beat Dying Light once, didn't feel compelled to go back to it. I beat Fallout 4 once, and obviously I haven't had as much time to reflect on that, but I don't have any desire to start a new character and go back through all that. So I had a lot of fun with all those games, but I was so immersed in Bloodborne, and that's all I wanted to do for so long. It kept me engaged. I played it so many times. I think I'm gonna have to go with Bloodborne.
Bloodborne takes it, folks. We swear it's gaming. Number one game of the year. Bloodborne. We love you, Bloodborne. From Software, we are excited to see Dark Souls 3, and that might just be our next game of the year.
Yeah,
right?
that'll be the game. Yeah.
No, I'm actually thinking about it. I'm not too sure what games are coming out next year.
Dude, there are a ton of games next year. There's Uncharted 4.
No Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky.
Oh.
There's Dark Souls 3. There's that Horizon game that looks great. There's the new Mirror's Edge game that's coming out. That Quantum Break game is finally going to come out. The Division is going to come out.
The NX.
The NX hopefully is going to come out.
We'll see about that.
I think Rare's Pirate game is coming out in 2016.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot about that.
Dude, there's a lot to look forward to in 2016. There's a lot.
Damn.
I'm super stoked for it.
Well, for 2015, Bloodborne
Takes it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if you've been watching these episodes, which
it's-
we've seen from all the amazing comments,
Yeah.
we have.
All the likes on the video.
Yeah, but hey, let us know what you think your favorite game of the year is.
For sure,
We'd
we'd
like
love
to
to
come back
hear
and revisit it after this next week.
Yeah. I'm sure that our picks and the way we thought about this is going to be very different from
Oh yeah, well,
how
everyone-
most people are
so
going to do it.
I want to hear what they want to say. You know,
For
like,
sure.
a lot of people are probably like, Witcher 3, man.
Yeah.
Explain
Tell
to
us-
me why I should love Witcher 3.
Yeah, please tell us why we're wrong and why we should like The Witcher 3 more.
And please tell us why Bloodborne is number one.
Yeah. For
I'm
sure.
just kidding. No, that was cocky to say. James, I can't believe you said that.
Yeah, so I don't really know what else to talk about at this point. Like,
No, I think I'm good. I have to pee again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
But,
cool.
Hey, it's We Swear It's Game. We love you. We fucking love
That was creepy.
you. Yeah.
All right,
It's a good
well,
way to end of the year.
yeah, this is going to be our last episode for the year.
Yeah, I'm gonna edit. It's probably gonna come up for first day of 2016.
Cool.
So
Awesome. All right, well, that was it. That was our game of the year. We've been talking about it for months.
Yeah.
James is doing his dance again. This is what, like 4 times since we
Dude,
started recording the
I don't know
episode?
what it is. If I was drinking vodka, this wouldn't happen.
Yeah, that's true.
But
you
I have to
wouldn't-
work tomorrow.
Yeah, and you wouldn't be able to talk. You'd...
I'd be like, so I made a good decision drinking beer, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Except I have to piss out my ass.
Okay, well, let's wrap it up.
All right.
Yeah, thanks for
Like,
listening.
comment, subscribe, and if you do, for everyone that does, I'll grab Jade's titty and send you a picture of it.
Yeah. All right, have a good night. We'll see you later.
Bye.